So for my first vlog here, I'm going to be showing you some of the things that you can do with font and line spacing on a Kindle Touch. And for that matter, any Kindle Generation 3. Generation 2, so Kindle 2s, also have font capabilities, but the Kindle 3 generation, so the Touch and the Kindle keyboard and the what they're calling the Kindle 3, they all can do sort of things beyond just font size. So I'm going to show you how you would go about changing your font on your Kindle. So I want to show you my Kindle is currently in its little case here. It has a kickstand that Velcros on when it's not in use, and I use this so that I can read while I eat my lunch. So it's actually on right now, but if I go ahead and turn it off, I got the Kindle Touch with slightly cheaper price because I got ads, so I have an ad on my home screen. Okay, so I turn on, and it starts me off in whatever book I was reading when I last was using my Kindle, which is A Discovery of Witches. So this is the font I normally read in. To give you a sort of sense, here's my hand, here's kind of how it looks. Let's say I want it bigger for whatever reason. This is giving me a headache. I want to see the font larger. I'm on the elliptical runner at the gym. I'm at the beach and I'm holding the book slightly farther away than I normally am. So what I can do is I can use the pinch and spread functions that a lot of smartphones have. So if I actually put my fingers on and spread, it's going to increase the font by one step. If I do it again, it'll increase by another step. We can even go even bigger. All right. So we could even go even bigger than this, but that feels a little bit excessive. So here's sort of a large font, and if I want to make it small again, I can pinch. It'll take me down one step, pinch again, one step, pinch again. So here's my sort of standard reading font. It looks a lot like the page of a book, which is why I like it. So there are other things that I can do to change the font as well. So I can tap at the top to get the menu, and at the bottom there's this AA key. And I can manually choose my font size here. I can also choose different typeface, so regular, condensed, or sans-serif. So I'll choose the condensed, and you'll see there's just more words per page. The font is narrower, and the spaces between individual characters is smaller. I can also do sans-serif. So to show you the sans-serif, I'm going to actually go to a bigger font. It's a little bit easier to see. So you can see in the background there's serif. Sans-serif is a bit blockier, and I think is some people's preference. I'll show you the page. A much more blocky font that you could choose as your personal setting for how you want to read. So let me go back to the other things that we can do. We can also change the spacing. So right now this line spacing is large and the words per line is default. So if you wanted to see, for example, to compare this, the line spacing from large to small, so again, it's condensing the spaces in between individual lines. So more lines per page. There's also a medium setting. I prefer the large. Personally, I think it reads more like a first edition hardback that has a little bit more space in the lines, which I find more comfortable for reading. Now, words per line. This is the default. It goes almost all the way to the edges of the screen. But you could also choose to have fewer words per line or the fewest. And it makes it much narrower. All right, so let me actually go back to the default. I'm going to go back, put my font back the way I like it. I think I like that one, yes. There it is. And I like the regular typeface. I just find it easier to read. The letters are less bold. I don't know if that makes any sense, but that's at least my preference. All right. I can also change this to landscape mode. So right now I'm in portrait mode. It's long ways up and down. I can go to the menu by tapping the top to bring up the menu, and I can choose landscape mode, and the entire screen from now on is now in landscape mode. So you may find as a reader that this is more your preference for reading. You want maybe a wider page and shorter words per page. Your preference. I find sometimes when I'm reading in bed at night, I can't see below my glasses when the Kindle's resting on my stomach, so what I think I might start to use this because otherwise my glasses sort of cut off the bottom of the page, and that way I'm sort of just reading in a shorter space. During the day when I have my contacts in, not as big of a deal. So again, it becomes a user preference thing, especially even situational user preference. So to go back to portrait mode, I'm going to click menu again and go to portrait mode. All right, and there we are. So that was just a little demonstration of what you can do with a Kindle Touch or any Kindle 3 generation with font size and spacing.